So the ongoing story of the strat rebuild. So gotten some parts in for the job. Got the new tremolo. Got the new lock for the nut. It's only got 2 holes, but they line right up with 2 of these holes, so it'll go on. The spacing for the strings are correct and everything, so that looks like a go. Now this here, I just put the these old posts on here, and I noticed that this is just a little bit wider than the new one right here. So I'm just going to trim those out a tiny little bit to make that fit, and I'm sure it'll work just fine. There it is. So that's the beginning of that. Here's the old trem piece. These holes are all stripped out, like, you know. And what had happened, I took a picture of it, and I'll see if I can get it in here. There we go. Without too much reflection there. So you'll notice that these here pieces, they're right out from under the locks. So they can no longer be adjusted any further back, even though there is some adjustment left in the screw. You can see there's still a little bit of a flat spot on the bed for it to slide back on, but there's nothing to hold it in place anymore. So that's what happened, eh? And the reason that was because these knife edges right here, they wore out, and the more they wore in, the further back you had to pull the intonation to correct for it. So over the years, you know, I mean, it just kept getting pulled back. So that's just a part and parcel of using these knife edge tremolos. Like, if you know, they do wear. So there you go. That's the old one, and there's the new one. Another thing I got is I got some copper shielding tape to shield these cavities here inside to keep the hum down, keep the noise down. So I'm figuring it's probably going to take something like about, you know, a couple of feet to do this, maybe a little bit more. So my friend Mike there was saying that he might be doing a guitar. So hey buddy, if you need a chunk of this stuff to, you know, help keep some noise down, just let me know. So there you go. Now I think I'm gonna try and see what's wrong with these pickups and put them back into service. The reason is that they are really to replace them would be to get something that's equivalent would be a fair stack of money. You know, they're already fit to the guitar and everything, but this wiring here is just kind of out of control. So I'm gonna fix this all up, and then what I'll do is I'm gonna pull these pickups off, and we'll dip this. We'll do a dip paint job on the pick guard, and we'll do a dip paint job on the back cover. So the other thing I was thinking of doing was doing something, painting this behind here, or maybe even just lining it with some of that copper tape or something to make it look kind of snazzy in here before we put the cover back on, right? Because you do see a bit in there, and I guess it is what it is. So that's where we're at right at the moment. So the other thing that I'm waiting for is I bought a battery box that the battery will sit in, and we'll route it in back here somewhere. You know, we'll have to find a location where we can drill a hole to get up to it, and we'll put a battery box so that 9-volt battery no longer sits in this space underneath all this wiring, and there will be no more jamming, and I can re-drill all these holes that I filled. I filled all the screw holes, and now I can re-drill them, so it'll hold this cover on real nice. And I think if I do something sweet, something that's kind of in the same pace, like I'm thinking about you know, doing a swirl paint job on this and match it with this, because whatever's finished won't matter what color it is to start with. So there we go. The other thing I'm going to do is, might as well do it, I've been doing a little bit of YouTubing on it, and I'm going to scallop the frets from about here up. Just a little bit, just so that you can grab those notes a little bit better. Might as well do it while I got it apart. You know? And I'm not going to go too crazy with it. I'm not going to do a bunch of extreme stuff. I've seen guys that, you know, really make these huge concave dents and stuff. But I'm just going to sculpt it a little bit to make these higher notes easier to reach and, you know, to play. So, there you go. I guess I might as well, eh? And the other thing I noticed about this is, compared to this one, is it's actually got 2 rows of holes. There you can see them. So there's a lot more adjustment on these pieces here. I don't know if that's to allow for wear on these edges. The other one is that although this one, if these pieces hadn't stripped out of it, I would have just replaced these knife edges, these little pieces in here. I could have just replaced those, but all these holes are stripped, and this is a cast piece, so, you know, I mean, anything you do with it is only going to, it's not going to get any better than it already was before, so there you go. Well, thank you very much. Have a good night.